Good evening. Welcome to yoga. My name is Danielle. Thank you for joining me for this live stream Comeback Yoga class. Comeback Yoga is a great nonprofit organization that meets veterans where they're at. And sometimes that means providing classes for you at home. This is a level 2 class. And for me, the difference between a level 2 class and other classes is just that there's less instruction. The intensity is about the same, but probably just won't describe the poses as much or use, that much instruction. If you've ever taken a class with me before, you know that I always cue 2 yoga blocks and a yoga strap to practice with. And you don't have to worry if you don't have those things. You can use couch pillows or even bed pillows if we're using the blocks to pad the joints. You could use books or a sturdy photo album if we're using the blocks to create height. And the yoga strap, you don't need an official yoga strap. You can use a belt, a necktie, a towel, and I'll cue the props. I will more than likely practice with the props, but you don't have to. It's an and/or situation. They're just there in case you need them. This might feel like a typical yoga class that you've taken before, but comeback yoga classes are a little different because they're taught from a trauma-informed perspective. And again, the difference there lies in our instruction and the way that we say things. And we have little tools too. For example, before we even get going, I'd like you to start to look around at your space, get oriented to your space, what's near your space, where the exits are to your space. And then if there's something you can do to make yourself even 10% more comfortable, do that now. So that might mean turning your mat so that you face the exit instead of have your back to it. If you feel more comfortable having your phone by your mat, that's fine. Just place it face down so that it doesn't distract you when we begin our class. Now that we've gotten nice and oriented to the space, we're going to go ahead and get started lying down on the back. And once you get all the way down, I want you to take a moment to shift your hair, your body, and your clothes. And just get into a comfortable position. For some of us, that's going to be legs long, but if it's more forgiving on your low back, you can bend your knees and bring your feet flat. Once you find a position that you can tolerate, then bring your awareness to your breath. And just begin to notice how you're breathing. Notice the rhythm of your breath. If your breath is coming in a bit short or ragged or uneven, start to slow it down. And then begin to deepen your breath. Take a slow and steady inhale through your nose, fill your lungs and belly with air, and then open up your mouth, sigh all of your air out. Good, do another like that. Inhale, fill up to the top. Exhale, sigh it out. And then seal your lips and begin to inhale through your nose and out of your nose. You might notice a slight constriction at the back of your throat. And this is the type of breath we use to get our muscles warm and ready for the poses we're about to do. So try to find a rhythm you can maintain. Keep the slow and the steady inhales. Use your exhales to empty out entirely. Soften your muscles in the hinge of your jaw and scan your body from head to toe. If you notice any areas that feel tight, tense, or sore, start to send your breath there. What can you soften? What can you let go of? Take one more deep breath in, fill up. Stay for the exhale. Let it go. And then if you haven't already, you're going to bend your knees and bring your feet flat. And then have you ever lied down in snow and made snow angels? That's what we're going to do with our arms. On your inhale, bring your arms up and overhead, kind of like you're drawing a circle. And then on your exhale, draw a straight line down to your heart. And we'll just keep going like that. Inhale, sweep your arms up and overhead. And exhale, draw a straight line to your heart. Good. Keep going. Inhale. And exhale. 2 more. Inhale, draw a circle with your hands. Exhale, draw a straight line to your heart. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. And then hug your knees into your chest. Give them a hug. Give them a squeeze. It might feel nice to rock side to side here. You can even draw some circles on the ceiling with your feet, but take a little movement here. Give your low back a little massage. Good. Keep your knees into your chest. Bring your arms out to the side like a T, and drop your knees over to the left for a twist. Good. Think of your right shoulder blade as an anchor to this posture. Gently press it down to the mat. Even if it doesn't touch all the way, it'll give you a sense of grounding. You can take your gaze towards your left thumb. You can take your gaze up towards the ceiling, or you can take your gaze away from your knees towards your right thumb. This is just going to depend on what feels best on your neck this evening. And take one more inhale. On your exhale, bring your knees through center and then go ahead, drop them to the right. This time your left shoulder blade is the anchor. Gently press it down to the mat. And then just take your gaze where your neck feels best. It might be towards your right thumb. It might be up towards the ceiling, or it could be away from your knees towards your left thumb. You're taking an inhale. Exhale, bring your knees back to center and then hug your knees back into your chest. From here, roll over to your left or your right side. Pause there. And then use the strength of your top arm to press up to a seat. Good. And then from this seated position, cross at the ankles, let the knees fall open wide. Find a nice tall spine. Press your sitting bones down into the mat as you reach the crown of your head up. And then drop your right ear to your right shoulder. And if this is enough of a stretch to the left side of your neck, stay. But you can always deepen by taking your hand and gently pressing down on the crown of your head. You can take your left fingertips and walk them over to the side. And just know that if dropping your ear to your shoulder is enough, you can stay. You take an inhale. Exhale, come through center. Left ear to left shoulder. Stay or deepen as you would like. Good. Take an inhale. Exhale, come through center, bring your hands to your heart, and then take your gaze down, tuck your chin. Get that stretch to the back of your neck, and then just depending on how tight you are this evening, you might feel a stretch to the space between your shoulder blades. That's an area that holds a lot of stress, so it's actually quite normal to have tension in those areas of your body. Take one more inhale. Exhale, take your gaze up and drop your hands down. Very nice. We're going to come to hands and knees and find tabletop from here, however you want to get there. You want to stack your shoulders over your wrists and your hips over your knees. And then on your next inhale, it's cow pose. Belly lowers and gaze goes forward. On your exhale, it's cat. Round your spine. Take your gaze down. Good. Do another inhale. Cow pose. Exhale, round your spine for cat. Good. From here, you can start to take these movements on your own breath. You can even stay a bit longer in one of the postures if it gives your spine a good stretch. You can also take other movements to open up, maybe circle your hips or look over your shoulders. There's really no right or wrong here. So just go where your body wants to go. And if you find a tight spot, stay there for a few breaths. Work it out. Slowly come on back to center, and then we're going to take a child's pose. Big toes touch, knees go wide. Send your hips toward your heels. Your forehead will rest down to the mat, to one of your blocks or props. Or you can do what I like to do. Make a little pillow out of your forearms and rest your forehead there. Consider this pose your home base. So what that means is that the pose is available to you the whole time that we're practicing. If you become fatigued or lose your breath, or if I call out a posture and it's not working in your body tonight, know you can always return to child's pose to reground and to reconnect. Then take one more deep breath in. Fill your lungs, the back of your heart with air. Stay for the exhale. Sigh it out. Good. Press up to hands and knees. And then find your downward facing dog. Hips go high, thighs press back. And we'll ease into this first one with movement. So go ahead, walk your dog. Maybe sway your hips from side to side. And really try to relax your neck. Nod your head yes a few times, shake it no. And just allow the crown of your head to be heavy. On your next inhale, come up high on your toes. And then on your exhale, drop your heels to the right. And from here, press down firmly into your left hand. Start to feel a stretch on the left side body, especially the left side waist and side rib cage. Good. Come back to center on your inhale. Exhale, drop the left heels over. Now press down into your right hand and feel that stretch on the right side of your body. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, press your heels to the mat. Start to walk your hands back towards your feet. So you'll be at the back of the mat, and you want a soft micro bend to your knees, enough to bring your hands down to the floor, or hands can reach up and grab for opposite elbows. Good. Crown of the head is heavy here. Neck is relaxed. You can do this pose in stillness, or you can add movement by swaying side to side. Once again, there's no right, there's no wrong. You just want to go where your body wants to go. Slowly bring your hands down to the floor if they're not there already. And roll up to standing slowly. One vertebrae at a time. Neck and head are the last to come up. Nice. Then we're going to come to the top of the mat. Find our mountain pose. So mountain pose is feet hip-width distance apart. And if you have trouble measuring that, take one of your heels to the arch of your opposite foot. And when you swing your toes back, that's your hip width. We all look a little different here. We're going to rest our hands by our side to begin. And then as you press down into your feet, reach the crown of your head up. I'll turn to the side now. As you do all of that, you want to relax your shoulders away from your ears. On your next inhale, bring your arms up and overhead. On your exhale, soft bend to your knees as you fold. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins and come back to that tabletop flat back. And then exhale, fold over your legs and release. Inhale your arms up. Exhale your hands to your heart. Let's do 2 more of those. Inhale. Exhale, soft bend to your knees as you fold. Inhale, hands to shin. Shine the crown of your head forward. Exhale, fold over your legs and release. Inhale your arms up. Exhale your hands to your heart. We'll do 1 more round. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, hands to shins. Exhale, fold, release. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to heart. So we'll just add on from there. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, soft bend to your knees as you fold. Inhale, hands come to shins. Exhale to fold over your legs. Plant your hands and step back to your downward facing dog. On your inhale, shift forward to plank, the top of the push-up, and pause. On your exhale, we're going to come down to the floor. You can always bring your knees down first. Everything comes to the mat. Tops of the feet are flat. And then inhale to a baby cobra. Lift up your chest, roll your shoulder heads back. Exhale, chest to the floor. Press up through hands and knees and find your downward facing dog. Take an inhale here as we hold. Stay for your exhale. Let it go. Inhale, come up high on your toes, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, take tiny little steps to the top of your mat. Inhale, bring your hands to your shins. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, bring your arms up and overhead. And then exhale, soft bend to your knees, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant your palms, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, shift to plank and pause. And then exhale, lower down to the floor. Tops of the feet are flat. Inhale, lift your chest like a wave for super cobra, for cobra pose. And then exhale, come down. Find downward facing dog through plank or tabletop. You choose. Take an inhale as we hold it. Stay for the exhale. Let it go. Inhale, come up high on your toes, bend your knees, look forward. Exhale, walk or hop up to the top of the mat. Inhale, hands come to shins. Exhale to fold. Inhale, bring your arms up and overhead. And then exhale, fold forward. We'll do 1 more round. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Plant your palms, step back, downward facing dog. Inhale, shift to plank and pause. Exhale, lower all the way or halfway through chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale to downward facing dog. Good. Take an inhale here as we hold. Stay for the exhale. Let it go. Good. Come on down to hands and knees. And sit back onto your heels. Roll out your wrists a little bit. Shake out your fingers. We're going to do some postures from tabletop. So that'll be a lot of weight on the hands, which involves the wrists. Good. Come back to tabletop. Reach the right leg long and shift back and forth a few times with the toes curled down on the floor. This will release the back of your leg, your calf muscle, and the arch of your foot. Good. And then start to lift the right toes up off the mat. Let them point down so your hips stay neutral. And then reach your left fingertips forward as if you're about to shake someone's hand. Take an inhale, find length as you reach through fingers and toes. And then exhale, slowly tap your fingers and toes down to the floor. Inhale, reach long. And then exhale, tap down. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, release. Inhale, reach it long, and we're going to hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hand and knee come down. Do a round of your cat-cow. Let that go. And then come back to center. The left leg goes long. The toes stay curled to begin. Shift back and forth. Get the back of your leg. Begin to lift your left toes up. Toes point down. Right fingertips reach forward. Take an inhale. Reach with your fingertips and your toes. Exhale, slowly tap fingers and toes down. Inhale, extend. And exhale, lower down. Inhale, lengthen. And exhale, toes and fingers down. Inhale, reach long, and we'll hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hand and knee goes down. A round of your cat-cow. Let it go. And then bring your right foot forward and scoot your left leg back. Good. Now, you're going to release your right hand past your right hip. So you're turning your chest to the right side of your mat. And take an inhale and sweep your top arm up and over your ear. And then on your exhale, twist open, take your gaze to the right. Inhale, top arm up and over your ear. And then exhale, twist open. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Now bring both hands to the inside of your front foot and wiggle your right toes to the edge of your mat. Okay? Now, if you have props, you can place props underneath your hands, or maybe if you'd like to deepen the sensation, you can lower down to your forearms. This is our lizard lunge. Once you get situated in the posture, take your gaze down, take your neck out of the pose, and bring all of your awareness to your right hip. You might even notice little pockets that feel closed or stuck. Try to send your breath there. What can you soften? What can you let go of? Take an inhale. On your exhale, if you lower down the forearms, you're going to come back up to the palms of your hands. And then you're going to bring your right leg to the center of the mat. This is where I highly recommend blocks underneath your hands. We're going to take a half splits. So you'll start to straighten the right leg and flex the right foot. Walk your fingertips or your blocks underneath your shoulders. So you want a nice tall spine here. When you round your spine in this posture, you take away to the stretch, to the back of the leg, which is what we are targeting right now. So nice tall spine from the tailbone up to the crown of the head. Curl your right toes towards your knees so you really get a stretch, not only to the back of the leg, but to the calf muscle and arch of the foot. And just stay with the breath. Notice where the sensation builds. Send your breath there. Good. One more inhale. Exhale, bend back into your front knee. Release your props if you were using them. And then hands are going to come down to the mat. Send your right foot to tabletop and just pause here. Keep your hips high as you walk your fingertips forward. And then bring your forehead down to the mat for puppy pose. So you'll notice here that your hips are high in line with your knees. If the forehead hovers, place a prop underneath. So this is basically downward facing dog without the legs. That's why it's called puppy. You're still getting that nice shoulder engagement. Now slowly come on down to the floor. We're going to come into Sphinx pose. So everything comes down, forearms are flat and parallel. Bring your elbows in towards your rib cage and then just drag your fingertips across the mat. Feel how that makes your chest shift forward. Look over your right shoulder, just enough to feel a stretch to the left side of your neck. And come back to center. Now look over your left shoulder. Just enough to feel a stretch to the right side of your neck. Come back to center. Lower your chest down to the floor. Slide your hands by your side and then find downward facing dog any way you like, through plank or through tabletop. Inhale, come up high on your toes, shift to plank, pause. Exhale, lower it down. Good. Tops of the feet are flat. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. And then exhale, press up to hands and knees. We're going to bring the left foot forward next, this time. And scoot the right leg back. Release your left arm past your left hip. Inhale your top arm up and over your ear. Exhale, twist open, gaze past your left thumb. Inhale, top arm up and over your ear. Exhale, twist open. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Now bring both hands to the inside of your front foot and start to shimmy your left toes over to the edge of the mat. So we're in our lizard lunge. If you'd like, use those props underneath your hands or your forearms if you want to deepen your sensation. Gaze is down. All of your awareness now comes to your left hip, which might feel a little different than your right. And that's okay. We're not perfectly symmetrical human beings. We tend to have a tighter, stronger side, and then a more flexible side. If this is your more flexible side, maybe you come a bit deeper. If it's your tighter, stronger side, you want to modify for that. Don't muscle it. Don't force it. Use your breath, gravity, and patience to open up. Take one more inhale. On your exhale, you'll come up to the palms of your hands if you lowered down. Left leg to center. Props off to the side, and then you're going to send your left foot to tabletop. Pause here. Walk your fingertips forward, forehead down to the floor. Puppy pose. Slowly lower down. We're coming back into Sphinx pose. And as soon as you get situated, take your gaze down. Sway your head from side to side. Give the back of your neck a stretch. Good. Do one more on each side. Just even it out. And then take your gaze back to center. Take an inhale here as we hope. On your exhale, lower down and slide your hands by your side. Find downward facing dog any way you like. Good. Now inhale and breathe your right leg high and back. On your exhale, bring your knee into your chest. Hold and hover around your spine like you would in cat pose. Inhale your right leg high and back. Exhale, knee to chest, shoulders over wrists. Inhale your right leg high and back. Exhale, knee to chest, look forward, right foot to right thumb lunge. This is where blocks or props can come in handy. You can place your hands to props here and on any height, okay? Or you're going to frame your front foot with your fingertips. Start to walk your foot closer to your right thumb or block. And then we're just going to add a little pulse here. So on your inhale, let your hips get heavy. Take your gaze forward. And then on your exhale, straighten the right leg any amount and take a bow forward. Good, let's do that again. Inhale, bend into your knee, lunge. Exhale, straighten and bow. One more. Inhale, lunge. Exhale, straighten and release. Inhale, bend into your front knee, lunge. And then on your exhale, twist your right arm open. Good. Try to stack your shoulders on top of each other. Press your left heel away from you. Shine the crown of your head forward. Take an inhale. Exhale, release your hand down. And you're going to send your right leg to plank from here. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, your back bend, offer your heart. And then exhale, find your downward facing dog. Inhale and reach your left leg high and back. Exhale, knee to chest, hold, hover, and round your spine. Inhale, left leg high and back. Exhale, knee to chest, shoulders over wrists. Inhale, left leg high and back. Exhale, knee to chest, look forward, left foot to left thumb lunge. You can always use props again underneath your hands. Walk your left foot closer to your left thumb or block. And then on your inhale, let your hips get heavy as your gaze goes forward. On your exhale, straighten your front leg any amount, bow forward. Good, let's do that again. Inhale, bend into your knee, lunge. Exhale, straighten your leg any amount and take a bow. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, bend into your front knee, lunge. Exhale, twist your left arm open. Shine your heart to the left side of your mat. Keep your right leg strong by pressing the right heel away from you. Shine the crown of your head forward. Take one more inhale. Exhale, release your hand down to the floor. Plant your hands to the mat and send your left leg to plank. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, your back bend. And then exhale, press up to hands and knees. Take a child's pose. Big toes touch, knees go wide, hips to heels, forehead to rest on the floor. Begin to reground and reconnect with that slow, steady rhythm of breath we started our class with. If there's any lingering muscle tension, start to send your breath there. And take one more inhale here. On the exhale, you're going to come back up to hands and knees. Go ahead and take a seat. Give your legs a little shake. And then you're going to bring the soles of the feet together and let your knees fall open wide. We're going to do a seated cat-cow here. So hands can be to shins, ankles, around your feet. I like to take my peace fingers and circle grip my big toes. So now on your next inhale, shift your chest forward, take your gaze up, your throat is open. This is cow pose. And then on your exhale, round your spine, tuck your chin, take your gaze down for cat. Good, let's do that again. Inhale, cow pose. And then exhale, round your spine for cat. One more inhale. And exhale. Slowly come back to center. And now from here, we are going to take a forward fold with this shape in our legs. Now you can use props to help you. You can wedge your props to the arches of your feet, again on any height. so that when you start to hinge forward at your hips, your forehead has a place to rest. So let's call that option 1. Option 2 would to use just one prop or block behind your heels, and then the premise is the same, with a nice tall spine, hinge forward, forehead down to prop. That would be option 2. Option 3, you're not going to use any props at all. This isn't your first time at the rodeo. You've done this pose before. With a nice tall spine, you'll take an inhale, and then on your exhale, you'll hinge and fold. To deepen in this pose, you can start to walk your fingertips forward. And then let your spine round. Notice where you're holding your stress this evening. Is it the back of your neck? Is it the space between your shoulder blades? Maybe it's your low back or your hips. Wherever that tightness and tension is, try to soften the area with your breath as we hold the pose. Slow and steady inhales to fill up. Full, complete exhales to let go. Take one more inhale. Slowly on the exhale, you'll walk your fingertips back, lift up your chest, and then give your legs a little shake. We're going to actually do one more forward fold. This time we're going to do a straddle pose. So you'll bring your feet wide, like the shape of a V. And I always like to bring my hands behind my hips and lift up, because when you lower down, you might be able to bring your feet a little wider. Now you can tent your fingertips behind your low back and find some length in your spine by pressing your sitting bones down and reaching the crown of your head up. Now this might be your work right here. A nice tall spine and legs extend, and you're getting that stretch to the back of your leg, maybe even into the inside of your leg. But you can also start to hinge forward and fold. You can walk the fingertips forward. You can place props underneath your hands or your forearms. And even though I can bring my forearms down like this, I can tell already that this pose would benefit me better with props, because I wouldn't be able to maintain that shape without straining my muscles. But when I've got those props underneath my forearms, just bringing the floor closer to me, this pose becomes a lot more tolerable. And you want to flex your toes towards your knees so you're engaging your whole leg and the arch of your foot. Take your gaze down and stay with your breath. One more deep breath here. Slowly on the exhale, start to walk your fingertips back and lift up if you did take that fold forward. Your legs can come in towards each other. And then just take a moment and windshield wiper your knees back and forth. Good. Let's counter that with a seated twist. So from the side, you're going to take an easy seat. That's what that looks like. You'll bring your right hand to your left knee and your left arm behind your low back. That allows your left shoulder to roll open and back. You can take your gaze forward. You can take your gaze center, or you can take your gaze past your left shoulder. But once again, you're going to pick what feels best on your neck. Always be mindful of your neck in a twist. If it feels compromised, you don't have to complete the twist. You can just take your gaze forward or to the side. You're going to take an inhale. Exhale, come through center. And then it's going to be left hand to right knee, right arm is going to go behind you. That allows your right shoulder to roll open and back. You can take your gaze forward, center, or past your right shoulder. Keep a nice tall spine, so sitting bones down and crown of the head up. Good. Take an inhale. Exhale, come back to center. Good. Give your legs a little shake. We're going to come down to our backs for the rest of class. If you've got those props, I want you to place those on either side of your hips, kind of where your knees are going to be when you come down. And then you're going to bend your knees, bring your feet flat, and soles of the feet come together as knees fall open wide. Props are there to pad your knees if your low back and your hips feel tight. If you don't need the props, just place them over to the side where you can reach them for later. You can rest your hands where they're comfortable, but I like to bring my hands to my belly, below my belly button in this pose. Sometimes it's just easier to stay connected to your breath when you can feel it. So you might notice when you inhale, your belly rises underneath your hands. When you exhale, your belly lowers and moves away from your hands. And your only job is to breathe. Allow every inhale and exhale to just take you deeper into the pose. Feel how the mat and the floor supports you, and then allow your body to rest into that support. Take one more deep breath here. And then on your exhale, take your hands to the outside of your knees, gently close your knees together. You're going to locate one of your props. The knees will stay bent. You're going to lift up your hips and place your prop to your low back and hips for a supported bridge. You want to make sure your sacrum is supported. That's the diamond shape in the middle of your low back. So I always say bring the prop down lower than you think you're going to need it. If your hips and low back feel tight, walk your feet wide to the edge of your mat. Otherwise, they can stay at hip-width distance apart. And then other than that, there's not much more for you to do in this pose but breathe and feel how grounding the pose is. Feel your feet press down into the floor. Feel your hips get heavy on your prop. Feel your shoulder blades spread and widen beneath you. And then the back of your head, the base of your skull, gently supported by the floor and by your mat. You just notice what you notice here, feel what you feel. There's no right, there's no wrong. But whatever pops up, notice it with curiosity and not judgment. You can stay like this with your knees bent and your feet flat. Or you can start to bring your knees in towards your chest and then straighten your legs up towards the ceiling. So this is an inversion. And all that means is that we're reversing our blood flow. If you feel wobbly on your prop, you can hug it for support. Otherwise, rest your hands where they're comfortable. And enjoy that sense of calm it brings when you reverse your blood flow. So a really good pose to do right at the very end of class. It gets your mind and your body ready for our final pose, our rest posture. Slowly float one foot down to the floor and allow the other foot to follow. Once both feet are on the mat, you can lift up your hips, scoot the prop off to the side, and slowly lower the hips down to the mat. From here, you'll hug your knees into your chest again and sway side to side. Give your low back a little massage. And then you're going to release your legs and let them go long. We're going to come into our final pose, our rest pose. Now, again, you want to make sure that you're in the best position possible. So legs can be long, but knees can be bent and feet can be flat. Return to your natural and your spontaneous breath. The breath that enters and leaves your body without any kind of an effort. Feel the points of contact between you and the mat. The back of your head gently presses down to the floor. Feel the weight of your shoulders underneath you. Feel the weight of your glute muscles. Feel the heels of your feet press down into the mat. If you have more time to vote to your rest pose, I recommend another 5 to 10 minutes here. But if you're ready to be guided out, begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Sway your head from side to side. Bring your knees in towards your chest and roll over to your left or your right side. Pause there. Use the strength of your arms to press up to a seat. As you come up to seated, bring the palms of your hands together, press your thumbs into your sternum, and feel your heart beat underneath your thumbs. Thank you so much for joining me this evening for yoga, and I hope to see you again next week. Take care.